Have a skeptical prospect? Normally they call family, friends, co-workers, and they think, well, what's this network marketing really about? And I like to tell people that network marketing isn't about meetings like this. And it's not about, calling up your friends and harassing them. And it's not about dragging people out of work in a headlock down to a meeting. It's none of these things. All network marketing is recommending and promoting. So here's the question: how many people here have ever recommended or promoted something? You all did network marketing, didn't you? And do you think everybody else does? Everybody else already does network marketing. It's a life sentence. You can't get around it. The thing is, they just don't understand how network marketing really works. If you can remember those two words, recommending, promoting, that's all it is. By the way, what are some of the things you recommended and promoted? Meditation, restaurants, movies, vacations, hotels, shoes. Well, hairdressers for some of us. Yeah. What else? Cars. Brand of beer, TV shows, cameras, partners. Hey, ask him. Well, let me ask you this. If you recommend a place where you can buy things on sale, how do you feel? Great. It's part of the human experience. We love network marketing, right? If you could recommend a place to go on holiday or vacation, how do you feel? Great. It's all part of our experience. Well, we all here in this room know about network marketing. We're all sold on it. The problem is a lot of our people that we come in contact with aren't. So how can we change their beliefs so they understand that they're already doing it already? You see, if they're already doing it already, our job should only be just letting them know they can pick up a check. Because there's two types of people in the world, right? Those that do network marketing every day and get a check in the mail, and those that do network marketing every day and don't get a check in the mail. So our job should be to let them know that they can pick up a check or they can continue doing it for free. And charity work is good, makes the world a better place. So if they choose to do so, that's great. So let's take a look at how we can change their beliefs. What's a good way to change somebody's beliefs? Money? Money? Yeah, bribery works great. Motivation? Incentive, conviction? Example? Stories. Hey, I'll go for stories. Because I find that stories are one of the easiest, quickest ways to change people's beliefs about how things work in the real world. Because once you hear a story that has a point, you say, you know what, that probably makes a lot of sense. So let's learn a couple stories real quick that we can tell our friends so they understand what network marketing really is, to help them change their beliefs from thinking it's something to do with pyramid schemes and meetings and phoning strangers and harassing people to what it really is, which is only recommending and promoting what we like. So let's get started with a story. This is called the exhaling story. How many people here exhale? All right. See a couple obstinate people there holding their breath. Yeah, we all exhale, don't we? Well, this is a little simple story that you can tell. Imagine for a moment that your Canadian government, in all of its wisdom, decided that you guys needed more money. So they said, well, the best way to give it to you is give you an exhaling bonus. Every time you exhale, we'll give you 25 cents Canadian, okay? So exhale, 25 cents, exhale, 25 cents, exhale, 25 cents. All you have to do is fill out a form so you can start receiving your 25 cents. They'll send you a check every week or two. Pretty easy, right? So you're walking down the street one day and you notice somebody behind a little shop there or whatever, and they seem kind of sad. You walk in and say, oh man, I can't pay for the babysitter and the cost to coming to work here, the transportation is eating me up. We just don't have enough money. I just don't know what I can do. And you notice that she is exhaling. What might you say?
How do you get some money for doing that?
Yeah, I mean, would you withhold that information from her? Say, oh, she's exhaling, she has a lot of money coming to her, but I'll just withhold it from her and let her suffer. Would you do that? No. What would you do? Yeah. You'd say, hey, did you know there's an exhaling bonus? Every time you exhale, the government will give you money. Just fill out a form and you can collect it. Is that what we do? No. We notified her, let her know, right? Did we try to convince her? Did we try to sell her? Force her against her will? And she says, oh, no, I don't want to fill out any forms because that's too much work. What would you do? Yeah, fine, just let it go and go on, right? You've done your job, you've done your responsibility, you have notified her that there's an opportunity, it's up to her to make the decisions for her life, correct? You are responsible to give people the opportunity, but you're not responsible for the choices they make in their life. I mean, you're not responsible for the spouse they chose, are you? Or the job they chose? So that's how the exhaling bonus works. You just let people know. Would you be shy to let people know? Everywhere you go, see people exhaling, would you be shy?
No.
I say, hey, you're exhaling, you might as well collect. Yes, money from the government, you already earned it, you exhaled. And by the way, as people already earned a network marketing check, they've recommended, haven't they? It's the exact same thing. So if you're to look at your business like the exhaling bonus, it would be easy to talk to people. You see, our job is not to sell people, it's not to convince people, it's simply to notify people. Here's a quick difference between notifying and selling. What's the best movie you've seen recently?
Sideways.
Sideways. All right. Now, did you like the movie?
Yeah.
Have you recommended or promoted to others?
Oh, yeah.
You probably didn't get paid for it either, did you? No. Movie theaters wouldn't send you checks, free popcorn certificates. Maybe not, but anyway, she likes the movie Sideways. So if you were to recommend it to me, what would you say?
I would say it's hilarious. There's wine involved, and it's much more sexier than it looks.
Okay. Now, she didn't sell me on the movie. She just recommended it, correct? Now, if I don't go to that movie, are you going to jump off a cliff and slit your wrist? Yeah, you're probably not going to send me audio cassette tapes of reviews. Or get me on a three-way call with the director. And invite me to an opportunity meeting about how to get a busload together to go down to the movie. No, we're probably not going to do any of that, are we? You simply notified me. Now, selling would sound something like this. Well, there's a movie called Sideways. It's a great movie. It's 4.6 minutes longer than the ordinary movies. Great value for money. I get a discount on the entrance ticket here. Of course, a discount on the popcorn. We can have a parking space over here. When can I pick you up? Maybe at 10 o'clock on Tuesday morning or 2 o'clock on Thursday afternoon. That might be selling, right? Chance of rejection. But notifying, you just let people know, just like it was a movie. That seem pretty easy? So we're just going to notify people because it's easy. And then it's up to them. Because we don't like rejection, we just notify. So let's try this. I'd like you to grab your partner and pretend your partner's a brand new distributor. And they're thinking, well, I don't know if I should tell my brother about this. I don't know if I should tell the co-workers about this. I don't know if I should tell my neighbors about it because they may not be interested. It's not for them to decide if they're interested or not, is it? It's for them to give them the opportunity, and if they want information, they can ask for it. So you got to grab your brand new distributor and tell them the exhaling story. It kind of works like this. Imagine that your government and all its wisdom decide to give you how much money? 25 cents every time you exhale. All you had to do was what? Fill out a little form. So one day you're maybe picking up some bubble gum at a counter, and the clerk is complaining. What's the clerk saying? Can't pay for a babysitter, it costs too much for bus fare down there, they don't have enough money. And you notice the clerk is doing what? Exhaling. So the question is, would you let him know? And they say, no, I don't want to fill out that form. No, I don't want that money from the government. No, it doesn't seem fair. No, it's a pyramid. No, somebody in China lost money once for exhaling. Yeah, that's okay. You've done your job. All you've done is notify them, right? So what you should do, first of all, is notify everybody you know about your business opportunity. If they would like to know more, great. If they don't, that's great too. Because there's two types of people in the world, right? Those that get a network marketing bonus check in their mailbox every month, and those that don't. Which group would you like to be in?
Those that do.
That's pretty good. You know, Texas, they always ask, repeat the question. So, let's do this. I'd like you to grab your partner right now and just tell your partner the little exhaling story about how it works. Everybody exhales just like everybody does network marketing. Just tell them the exhaling story to show them how simple network marketing can be. Everybody ready? Grab your partner. Let's begin.
You do it.
Okay, how do we do? How many people found that a little bit easy? All right, how many found it hard? How many wouldn't raise your hand no matter what I said? Okay. The first time we tell a story or do an exercise is the hardest. So why not get the hardest one done here where it doesn't count, right? Second time you do it, it's a lot easier. Third time, it's easier yet. So should we learn another story? Because we need to explain how network marketing works for people who don't know. So in Toronto, do you have grocery stores? What's the biggest, most common grocery store here?
Longos.
Okay, we're in total consensus here, aren't we? All right, Loblaws, right?
Cheaper.
When you go to Loblaws, who thought of that name? All right. So you go to Loblaws, Dominion. Hey, Dominion's a good store. Okay, so you go to Dominion. I go to Dominion, I get in line, and I buy a Diet Coke and 44 bars of Snickers. I give the clerk money, and I leave. Behind me is you. You have a Diet Coke and 44 bars of Snickers. You pay for your Diet Coke and 44 bars of Snickers, but you pull out on your keychain a little or Visa thing that has, don't you have some sort of loyalty program here?
Yeah.
What's it called? Air Miles. So you pull out your Air Miles card, and you get Air Miles, right? You do the exact same thing I do, but you get paid for it. Does that sound a little bit like network marketing? Yeah, everybody recommends, but you get paid for it. So you get your Air Miles card. How many people here think that's a pretty good deal? You do the exact same thing I do, but you get Air Miles. But it gets better. What if Dominion says one day, I tell you what, you're a valued customer. If you tell somebody else to start shopping at Dominion's and they get an Air Mile card, we'll give them Air Miles too. But because you recommended them, whatever Air Miles we give them, we're going to match that and give them to you too. How many people think that's a great deal? Man, you're going to be telling everybody, aren't you? You're going to say, oh, you got to start shopping at Dominion's because, you know, you buy things just like you always do, but you get Air Miles. And not only that, I get some air miles extra too. This is going to be great. If I get enough air miles, I can go to Trinidad and I can send you a postcard from there. So how many people here think that would be a lot of fun and most people would participate in that program? But Dominion says, let's make it even better. Let's do this on steroids. Not only when you introduce somebody and they start shopping at Dominion, but if they introduce somebody, one of their friends, we're going to give their friends air miles. We're going to give your friend air miles, and we're going to give those matching air miles again to you. How many people think now you can clean up and have a ton of air miles? If that was available, you know that every person here in Toronto will be out there saying, you got to shop at Dominions, don't you? Well, if that were the case, everybody would love Dominions. But it's not the case, is it? But what network marketing does is the exact same thing, except they don't give you air miles. They give you cash. Is that okay? And that's the only difference. So how many people here think you can explain the grocery store story? That's exactly how network marketing works, right? In network marketing, your business, you buy things. You introduce somebody who buys things. You introduce somebody who buys things. You make money, don't you? But instead of getting points or air miles, you get cash. That's all network marketing is. So let's review the story before we tell it. Number one, now imagine I'm what grocery store? Yeah, I'm nervous. Not Loblaws. What do I buy? Diet Coke and 44 bars of Snickers. By the way, I'm not getting paid for recommending Diet Coke or Snickers, but you come behind me and you do the exact same thing, except you pull out what? Air mile card and you get air miles. You do the exact same thing, except you got paid for it. But not only that, Dominion says if you introduce your friends, they come and start shopping here, what are they going to do for you? Yeah, they're going to give them air miles, plus give matching air miles to you. And you're thinking, ka-ching, it can't get any better than this, but it does, because they say when those people even bring some folks, they're going to give them air miles, the person who brought them air miles, and matching air miles to you too. And you think, wow, I get the neighborhood involved here, I'll be flying around the world. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Well, that's how network marketing works, except they don't give you air miles, they give you cash. Is that okay? Well, does that explain how network marketing works for you? So I'd like you to grab your partner right now, and your partner says, so exactly how does this thing work? And you're going to say, imagine you shop at Dominions. Everybody ready? Let's begin. It's so easy. Who would like to volunteer and give that story to the rest of the group? Who would like to volunteer and give that story to the rest of the group? Dead time. Oh, yeah. Go ahead. The young lady here, just stand up and tell the rest of the group how it works. Thank you.
Okay, so you go to Dominion and you have your Air Miles card, and then Dominion offers to give you money because they want to get more customers. So you refer other people to get Air Miles cards, and then they give you money for doing that, then they give them money, your friends money for doing that as well. I think that's right.
Close enough. Let's give her a hand. Excellent there. Now I want you to notice something. She volunteered. What's the rest of us going to do? Keep it top secret from our prospects? Yeah, we're just going to, no, I'm going to wait till it's perfect. In about 9 years I'll have it perfect, and then I will approach my coworker. No, tell him right away. And you know what? It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be good. All you have to do is just notify people, right? Most people you talk to, if it's the right time for them, there's nothing wrong you can say. Just letting people know. Let's give her a big hand for volunteering. Excellent. See, the difference is she said something, we didn't. Oh, should we give her something for volunteering? Yeah, let's give her another hand. Excellent. Do you like to read? Okay. If you go to our website, fortunenow.com, there's a manual there called 103 Ways and Places to Sponsor New Distributors. It's a 537-page manual of all the different ways we've used to get new distributors, where we found them, different campaigns we've done, a special form that you've probably seen recently, about 3 neat questions you can ask people, lots of things like that. So anyway, I have a son who's younger than me, and my son says, you know, Dad, instead of getting that big manual like this thick on 8.5 by 11, they can put it all on CD now. That way they can email parts of their downline or use these forms, etc. So it's all on CD now, that manual, and it's called 103 Ways and Places to Sponsor New Distributors, and it's yours for volunteering. So let's give her a big hand. Excellent. Some people are thinking, wow, a couple little stories can make all the difference in the world, can't it? Imagine telling that at a family reunion or just hanging around with some folks, and all of a sudden they see what you see. Would you like another story? Well, let me tell you what happened to me. Back in January, I was on a cruise ship in Hawaii. How many people here have ever been on a cruise ship? Wow, what's all the hands? Well, as you know, on a cruise ship, the top floor is a 24-hour eating trough. So I'm up there for the 7 days getting my money's worth shoveling away. And through the line comes this really, really old man. He's about 90 years old. He's carrying a little tray of food, and he sits down across the table from me, and I look at the man, I'm thinking, prospect. So I say, what do you do for a living? He looked at me, and you know he's old, because here's what he said. He said, young man, I'm retired. Back in 1939, I moved to California. Me and a couple friends of mine, we started a bank. Well, California grew, the bank grew along with it, and soon we were the 4th largest bank in California. Sold it for millions of bucks, now I'm retired. And then he said, young man, let me give you some financial advice. One good investment is worth a lifetime of labor. One good investment is worth a lifetime of labor. And isn't that true? How many people here know somebody who bought some real estate maybe many years ago? Now when they're going to sell the real estate, they're going to make more money than all the wages they earn their entire life. Anybody know somebody like that? Anybody know somebody who bought some stock years ago when they sold the stock, made more money from the stock than all the wages they earned their entire life? Yeah. Right. So, I got thinking, wow, that's true. One good investment is worth a lifetime of labor, isn't it? But most people don't have a good investment. You know why? They need money for down payment, don't they? And why don't they have stock investments? Stocks go up and Down. And they don't want to risk their family savings on it. So most people go throughout life, they don't have a single good investment. And if you don't have a single good investment, you are sentenced to a lifetime of labor. Sounds sort of like Siberia, doesn't it? But if you don't have a good investment, you are sentenced to a lifetime of labor. Well, that's a little icebreaker story that you can tell almost anyone, isn't it? And at the end of that story, what do you think a lot of people are going to say? All right. Holy crap would be one. Yeah. That's a Canadian term for, golly, I don't have an investment, right? Yeah, a lot of people say, man, I probably need to do something. I need an investment, but I don't have anything. Don't have a lot of money, don't know what to do. How many people could think of a solution? Yeah. Now, a lot of people might say this at the end of the story. I don't get it. You might want to leave them alone. All right? But I love that story because it lets people know that if they do something right one time, they get paid for a long, long time. Isn't that kind of how our business works?
Is that a true story?
So is that a true story? Yes, it is. And it's one of the benefits of going on a cruise. I've been going on lots of cruises since, trying to get another good story. So hasn't worked out that way, but I'm not giving up. So how many people here think you could tell that story? Well, what's neat about a story is people remember stories. And they even remember the most intimate little tiny details of a story. And let me prove it to you. I'm going to give you a little test to see how many of these details you remember. Back in January, where was I? On a cruise ship where? Up on the top deck, shuffling away, eating food. Who comes through line? How old was he? He sits across from me, I say, what do you do for a living? He says, young man, back in. Is that amazing? You even remember the date. Back in 1939, I moved to, me and a couple of friends of mine, we started a, well, California grew, the bank grew along with it, and soon we were how large? Sold for millions of bucks, now we're retired. Young man, let me give you some advice. One good investment is worth a? Isn't that true? How many people know somebody bought some real estate or stocks? Make more money from selling that than all the wages they earn their entire life. Therefore, I'm thinking most people should have a good investment, shouldn't they? But they don't. And why don't people have real estate investments? Yeah, in case you're down payment. Why don't they have stock investments? Stocks go up and? So most people go throughout life without a single good investment. And if you don't have a good investment, you are sentenced to a? How many people here are impressed that you were able to memorize that entire story after hearing it just one time? Would you like to know how we did it? Yeah, we'll tell you another time. So, now it's your turn. Because once you tell the story, it's easy. The first time's the hardest. After that, it gets pretty easy. But you can't tell this story because it didn't happen to you. You're going to have to tell a different story. Your story's going to have to go something like this. I have a friend named Big Al. Back in January, he was on a... You know how it goes from there, right? How many people here have a friend named Big Al? All right. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Grab your partner right now. One partner's going to say, hey, what's new with you? And you're going to say, well, I have a friend named back in January. Well, you know how it goes, right? Everybody ready? Grab a partner and say, what's new with you? Let's begin. do we do here? Pretty good? Yeah. All right, who'd like to tell the first half of that story? You see how well we did. Our young man right here, Vladimir, has volunteered graciously in the spirit of bribery. Go ahead, Vladimir. All right. So, what's new with you, I ask?
I have a friend named Big Al. Big Al went on a cruise on last January, and he was eating food on the first floor of the cruise, and he suddenly met a 90 years old person with a tray of food. So I thought, well, let me talk to this person to see what he's doing for life. So he asked him, what do you do for a living? And the person said, young man, I've been retired for a long time now. Back in 1999, I moved to California, and I opened with my friends a bank. Now California grew, and our bank grew in California. So some time ago, we sold the bank for millions of dollars, and now we're retired.
All right, let's give a big hand for volunteering. Excellent. That's great, isn't it? People ask me all the time, how do you talk to people? I don't know what to say. How many people can tell one of these little stories? Would it be comfortable? Let me ask you this. When you hear a story, do you always wonder how it ends? And your prospect always wonders why it ends, or how it ends, and what's going to happen. So do the same thing. Just tell a story. And what's nice about a story is they remember it, even the smallest details. So 2 weeks from now, your prospect is sitting at work, 2:30 in the afternoon. You know what he's thinking? I'm sentenced to a lifetime of labor. So, should we give Vladimir something for volunteering? All right, let's give him a big hand right there. We have a copy of the 537-page manual for you also, Vladimir, called 103 Ways and Places to Sponsor New Distributors. Great job, all right? We can all do that. Give him a big hand. So, anybody want to finish that story? All right, back here we have a volunteer from Hamilton. Go ahead.
Toronto.
Toronto. All right.
So basically we had a research. Okay, young man, if I could give you one piece of advice, is that one good investment is worth a lifetime of labor. Now, Al thought to himself, wow, that's pretty deep. And why don't I have an investment? Real estate costs lots of money. I can't afford a down payment. And, stocks go up and stocks go down. And a lot of people don't want to invest their finances in something risky like that. So, I guess if no one has one good investment, they're sentenced to a lifetime of labor. So, I can do it.
Let's give a big hand for finishing up. Excellent. I'm a pretty big believer in stories because it's the easiest way for people to see what you see. That's how we get our beliefs changed from childhood, etc. So I have a lot of stories. Some are 15 seconds long, some are 2 minutes long. One's called a 2-year story. But it only takes about 2 minutes to tell. But all these stories, what I did, I recorded them and put them on CD so people can use them to change negative prospects into positive prospects. Change people from saying, oh, I'd never do network marketing as a pyramid, to change it to saying, oh, I already do it. I might as well collect a check. It'd be stupid not to. So I put them all on CD so you can listen to them on the way home, and it's yours for volunteering. Let's give them a big hand. Well, people say, well, I guess I could tell a story, but how do I get things started? What makes things work when I give a presentation? How many people here have ever given a presentation? Was a little bit nervous? All right. People ask me, why is it sometimes I talk to somebody and they're leaning forward, they're nodding, they're drooling, it's like Vulcan mind meld, they see what I see, they're pushing cash across the table. I know that no matter what I say, no matter what I do, they're gonna join. How many people here have ever had a presentation like that? How'd that feel? Yeah, it felt pretty good, didn't it? You felt like going home saying, boy, am I good. Yeah, they saw what I see, they just joined, it just feels so good. Now, how many people have ever had a presentation like this? You sit across the kitchen table, the person's not leaning forward, what are they doing? Leaning back, oh, they're pulling their arms, playing with remote control, rolling their eyes. Yelling, "Shields up, Scotty," salesman approaching, calling their lawyer, sicking their dog on you. But, and you know that no matter what you say, no matter what you do, they're not going to join. You can do magic card tricks, you can levitate across the kitchen table. It's not going to make any difference. They're not going to join. How many people have ever had a presentation like that? Okay. How'd that feel? Yeah, if you like going home saying, "I just take a part-time job at Burger King." So depressed. Never want to do this again. It just makes you feel bad. Have you ever wondered why that happens? Why do some people lean forward, it's just so easy, and other people lean back, and it's just so difficult? Well, I'm going to say this. 99% of your success, when you give a presentation, happens on the first sentence. The rest of the presentation is just filler. 99% happens on the first sentence. The rest of the presentation is just filler. How many people believe that? A lot of skeptics here. Okay. Now you might think it's a bunch of American hype, so let me rephrase it. 99.5% happens on the first sentence, and the rest is just filler. I make a career of teaching my distributors to have a great first sentence, so people will lean forward and they'll want to look for reasons to join. And they say, "What about the rest of the presentation?" I said, "Well, you just wing it. It doesn't matter. It's only 0.5%. Make it up. They don't know what comes next." But isn't it easier to talk to people when they're leaning forward looking for reasons to join, instead of leaning back looking for reasons not to join? That's really uncomfortable for you and also for them, isn't it? But you're skeptical. You're thinking, really, it's the first sentence, everything? All right, let's do some case studies. Let's see what happens in real life to see if the first sentence is everything. Because most people spend days, months, years, decades practicing their presentation. You know, how to turn the flip chart just right, how to point that magic percentage on level 3, how to memorize the 650 testimonials. And these people are out there giving great presentations to people who hate them because they didn't like the first sentence. Now the other business model is this. You learn a really great first sentence, people lean forward, and it doesn't much matter what you say, they're going to look for reasons to join. So is that what happens in real life? Can you say, "Oh, wait," you say, "Wait a minute, I just bought a 3D flip chart, hologram, PowerPoint presentation, complete with moving figures," you know. And you say that stuff doesn't matter, and I'm saying, yeah, it really doesn't matter. It's all over with before you even get there. They've already made up their mind. But since we're a little bit skeptical, let's look at real life, your life. How many people here have ever got a phone call from a telephone solicitor? All right. After 30 seconds, how many people here have already made up your mind to look for reasons to join or not to join, or to buy or not to buy after 30 seconds? 10, all right. Now wait a minute. Is that fair?
Yeah.
You haven't even heard the presentation yet. You've already made up your mind before you've heard the presentation. That's not fair, is it? But it's what happens in real life. Now, if you do it to a phone solicitor, do you think somebody might do it to you? They made up your mind before you even unwrap the first sheet of paper to show them, to look for reasons to join or reasons not. So you're thinking, whoa, does it always work that way? Well, let's do another case study. Here in Canada, how many chances do you have to make a good first impression?
1.
Oh, same as the States. All right. It's over that quick, isn't it? People make snap judgments just that quick. So how many people now believe the first sentence is everything, the rest of your presentation is just filler? A little progress. Tough group. Are there any skeptics in Canada? Yeah, lots. Okay. It's required for citizenship? All right, let's try this. Let me just talk to the women here. Men, sit back and observe. Women, you know who you are, right? Now, I'm going to ask all the women here, have you ever, sometime in your lifetime, have you ever made up your mind about a young man and where that young man is going to fit in your life after meeting that young man for just 30 seconds? In other words, after just 30 seconds, you're already thinking, jerk, or something like that, right? So for the benefit of the men, I would like all the ladies who ever made up your mind about a young man, where that young man's going to fit in your life, and done it within the first 30 seconds of meeting the young man, would all the ladies ever done that, please raise your hand. Men, look at all those hands. Wow. Now men, let me ask you this. Is that fair? No, they haven't heard the rest of our presentation yet. Have a color flip chart, conference calls. But it's what happens in real life, isn't it? Just that quick. It's not fair, but it's what happens in real life. So how many people now believe the first sentence is everything, the rest of the presentation is just filler? Tough group. All right. We'll do another case study. We'll do case studies till you all agree or get tired of case studies. All right, let's try this one. How many people here in this room are married? Or at least heard about it? All right. Heard about it. All right. Let's try this. Apparently before people get married, there's this proposal thing. So let's say a young man gets down on one knee to propose to his girlfriend. So the young man takes her hand lovingly between his hands, looks lovingly in her eyes, and the young man says, "If you marry me, every Tuesday night we'll have candlelit dinners. Every Friday night we'll have moonlit walks in the park. On Sunday night, I'll take out the garbage, be a good, responsible family man." You know, guys, basic package stuff. So, let me ask the ladies. If the young lady likes the young man, what is she probably going to say? Is she going to say, "Great first sentence"? Yeah. Now, men, let me ask you this. Is that first sentence the highlight of our career? Yeah. Because after that, it's 10, 20, 30 years of mistake after mistake after mistake. Right. So let's look at the case study here. Great first sentence, lousy presentation, but the sale was made. See how the ladies going home. How can I miss this? I should have went to this workshop earlier. But is that what happens? If you get the first sentence right, you're in. Now, a lot of you are frustrated because you've given some presentations and people, well, they weren't listening and rolling their eyes and they had all these issues, but because we had sabotaged ourselves with a bad first sentence. If your first sentence is bad, if you just kind of wing it, you sabotage yourself. And the rest of the presentation, it's already over. And that's what makes us feel so frustrated, because people won't listen. Let me give you an example how your first sentence could be sabotage. Another young man wants to propose to a young lady. Takes her hand lovingly between his hands, looks lovingly in her eyes. And he says this, "If you marry me, you get to keep the ring." So let me ask all the ladies here. I know what you're thinking. How big is the ring? But assuming it's an average size ring, all right? But if it's an average size ring, let me ask the ladies, what are the odds of that wedding ever happening? 0, slim, -2, dead meat, roadkill. What do you say here? Dead beaver? Oh, whatever. You know, it's all over, isn't it? All over. 0. It's not going to happen. The first sentence says sabotage everything. I mean, after this, you're thinking that cheap so-and-so's only thinks I'm worth one piece of jewelry. I never want to hear from him again as long as I live. Dug himself a hole so deep, kicking dirt on top of him already, right? It's over. Sound like our presentations? If we start off bad, it's already over before we start. So, how many people here think that maybe the first sentence is everything and the rest of the presentation is just filler? Man, you guys get tired of case studies in a hurry, don't you? Yeah. But all I'm saying is, don't blame me. This is how it works in real life. So all you have to do is start off with great first sentences and you got it. So, let's start off with some great first sentences, okay? So you're sitting across the kitchen table, and you've done all the small talk, right? You've broken the ice, and they say, yeah, let's sit down here and talk about the business. So you sit down, you open up your presentation, and you say, and whatever you decide to say at this moment will be your first sentence, right? And they're going to make up their mind to look for reasons to join or not to join based upon what you say right there. That's your mortgage payment, that's everything, that's your life. Or, maybe doing a small group opportunity meeting, somebody's home, and you say, well, thanks a lot for coming out tonight at 7:30, let's all have a seat. Let's get started, and then you say, what you decide to say is everything, isn't it? That's your first sentence. So we all understand what the first sentence is. After we've done the small talk, when we actually start presenting our program, our opportunity, that's the first sentence. Now the first sentence is for icebreakers and meeting people. Right now we're just going to talk about the first sentences when we do our program because that's when people are going to make up their mind. So my question to you is, since that's your entire career, what do you say? Does your first sentence sabotage you and make it difficult? Or does it get people to lean forward and look for reasons to join?
Go.
All right. Oh, would you like some examples of first sentences? All right. All right. So I'll give you a couple examples of first sentences, and you tell me how would you like them, okay? So I might sit across from your kitchen table. I might say, thanks for the coffee, tea, milk, pie, ice cream, cake, cookies, fudge, popcorn. Open my presentation book, and I say, I'm in the global search for entrepreneurial talent, for time freedom and financial freedom, whereby people can enhance their lifestyles and efforts to multiple streams of residual income. Okay, that's not a hot one, huh? All right, that would turn you into a good prospect leaning forward or what? Bad prospect leaning back, you know, okay. That'd be a bad one, wouldn't it?
You're right.
All right, so let's try this one. Maybe I'm over at your home and say, well, I'm glad you all came over to hear about the program. Let's get started at 7:30. And then I say, let me tell you about the insecurity of corporate Canada, what you can do about it. At age 65, 65% of the people are dead or should be dead. The average person has to work 6.9 jobs throughout the lifetime. No pension plan available for them to break up the Canadian family with. Husband and wife have to work. IBM laid off 191,000 in 1991. You guys are cruel. All right. Has anybody ever heard a presentation start off with all those gloom and doom statistics? Yeah, I'm responsible for most of those. So, I have proven that doesn't work. But you don't like what I say. Oh, wait, let's do the company approach, right? Yeah. So, I might say, thanks for the coffee, tea, milk, pie, ice cream, cake, cookies, fudge, popcorn. Not that my life revolves around food or anything, but I started saying, let me tell you about the wonderful company from the wonderful city of wonderful Florida, started in the wonderful year 1991, started by Mr. Wonderful himself. He's a wonderful family man. He has several wonderful families to prove it. We have wonderful things, change wonderful company, change wonderful promotion, wonderful everything's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, what are you thinking? Yeah, wonderful, yeah. He's joined a cult. And if I join, I'm going to sound just as stupid as he does right now, right? Now, there's nothing wrong with the business, is there? Just that maybe we're bringing it up a little bit too quick. You might want to start with a pretty good first sentence here. So, here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Grab your partner right now, because you're all leaders, or else you wouldn't be here tonight, right? Because leaders are professional students of the business. So since you're a professional student of the business, you're a leader, you've probably done lots of presentations. I'm just going to ask you to tell your partner what you use for your first sentence when you start your presentation. Oh, a couple quick rules. Rule number one. After your partner's told you their best first sentence, ask yourself, did that first sentence turn me into a good prospect looking for reasons to join, or did it turn me into a bad prospect looking for reasons not to join, okay? Rule number 2, be polite. After your partner's told you their first sentence, don't grab your sides, roll on the floor, saying that's the stupidest first sentence I have ever heard. That's just rude. This will be your turn next. And number 3, if it's your turn to get the first sentence, you can't think of anything to say, simply turn to your partner and go. Yeah, if that's your approach, I'm not here to judge. You know, just see how well it works for you, all right? So everybody ready? Let's grab our partners. Let's tell them our first sentences. Let's begin. Okay, how do we do? Well, quick survey. Number 1, how many people had a little bit of fun? Number 2, how many would like to improve your first sentence? Number 3, how many people here think your partner should improve their first, no, just kidding. Well, do we see the problem? The problem is, we'd probably just start with a bad first sentence and it just makes everything harder for us. So when we come back from a little miniature break here, here's what we're going to do. We're going to learn some rules for first sentences. We're going to create a great first sentence that we can start our presentation with, where maybe 8 out of 10 people are going to lean forward and look for reasons to join right there on the spot. Would that be pretty good? All right, before we take a little break, we want to take a 5-minute break. How long is that network marketing time?
5 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes, okay. So, gives people a chance to go outside for a fresh air and a cigarette. Figure that one out. And other thing, yeah, all right. Let me see. Also, how many people here get the weekly tips? The Big Al weekly tips that come out every Tuesday or so by email. Great. For those of you who don't get it, if you'd like to get it, here's how you get them. They're free, which is well within most people's budget.
Is that US?
You can go to fortunenow.com, and on the front page, just type in your email address, all right? Or if you don't want to do that, during the break, you could do this. You could write your email address on a little scratch piece of paper, leave it up here, circle it on your business card, and we'll have somebody type it in for you. Fair enough? Make it easier for folks. And, oh, by the way, who came the furthest tonight? Oh, me. Okay, oh, I'm sorry. Where'd y'all come from? Orleans, Ottawa. Whoa. Where'd you come from?
Canada, Quebec.
The same distance. All right, who came closer? I tell you what, since they came the longest way, should we give them a big hand? Give them a big hand. That's like, what, about an 8 or 9 hour drive if you're lost, but normally 5 or something like that?
It's supposed to be 9 to cancel.
All right, so since they came all that way, should we give them something? I think we should. Since you came all that way, and do you have a CD player in your car?
Oh, yes.
All right. I have a workshop we do. It's a 3-hour workshop called How to Get a give a 1-minute presentation. It shows you how to get an appointment with 100% of the people you talk to by using just 2 sentences. Just say the 2 sentences, you get it? And that shows you how to do a complete total presentation in 1 minute, answering their 3 basic questions. So at the end of 1 minute, most people will have enough facts to make an intelligent decision to say, yes, I'd like to join, no, I wouldn't, or maybe have a question or 2. All right? So I tell you what, since you all came all that way, we're going to give you each one of these albums so you can listen to it on the way home. Everybody okay with that? Let's give a big hand for coming all that way. All right? Let's take a quick 5-minute break. We'll come back from break. We'll go right back to work. Sentence. Would we like this first sentence to accomplish a lot? That way we don't have to worry about the rest of the presentation. It'll be pretty easy. So the first sentence, number 1, write down the word pyramid. I think our first sentence should get rid of the pyramid objection, don't you? Because if your first sentence got rid of the pyramid objection, would most of your affiliates be pretty happy? Because they never have to deal with that anymore. So. Goal number 2. I think our first sentence should get people excited, so write down the word excited. Isn't it more fun talking to excited people than to deadbeats? And number 3, I think our third goal should be, our first sentence should get people to ask us, so how can I join? So how can I join? All right, let's review. You say a first sentence and the prospect should be thinking this. Wow, it's not a pyramid. Good legitimate business. Excellent. And boy, I'm really, really excited about it. Could you please, please, please tell me how to join? And if your first sentence did all that, how many people here think that just maybe, it'd be pretty easy? It'd be hard to blow it, wouldn't it? But we got time, you know, until 9:30, 9:45 here. So let's make it better. Number 4. Write down the word training. Training. I think our first sentence should get rid of the training objection, don't you? See if you've ever heard the training objection in a presentation. Have you ever heard somebody say, oh, I could never learn to do that. I'm not a salesman. I could never do a presentation. I wouldn't know what to say over the phone. That's too hard. I've never been in business before. I wouldn't be successful. How many people here have ever heard the training objection? Okay, now, if your first sentence got rid of the training objection, how many people here think that would be pretty good? Yeah. Number 5. Write down the word comfortable. Comfortable. I think our first sentence should get rid of the comfortable objection. See if you've heard that. Oh, I'm not comfortable being a salesman. I'm not comfortable dragging my friends to a meeting. I'm not comfortable bugging people to buy things. I'm not comfortable talking to people over the phone. I'm not comfortable talking. How many people here have ever heard the comfortable objection? Yeah. And if you could get rid of that with your first sentence, how many people here think that would be pretty good?
Yes.
All right. So now what we want to do is construct the first sentence. So when we say the first sentence, the prospect should be thinking this. Wow. It's not a pyramid. Good legitimate business. Excellent. And boy, I'm really excited about it. And could you please, please, please tell me how to join? And I don't need any training. I can do this right away. And I feel comfortable doing this. I would enjoy doing this. Your first sentence did all that. How many people here think that even your distributors could probably do a pretty good job? We got time. Number 6. Now, see if you've ever seen this phenomenon. You give a presentation. At the end of the presentation, the prospect says, wow, love the products. Everybody's going to love these products. Man, fantastic. And, The compensation plan, ooh, look at all the money you can make. This is outrageously good. Wow, this is better than a job. Awesome, and by the way, I'm not going to join. Well, how many people have seen that in real life? And we go, what is wrong with these people? Well, what has happened is this. Here's what they're saying. It's a great business. I would love to do it. I love the money. I love the products. I like the thank you notes I'd get from people, but I just don't think that I could be successful in it. I'm not confident I'd be successful like you. I mean, you're an old pro. You've been in 3 days already. You got a clean tie on. But I don't think I can do it. And because they have a confidence objection, they're never going to join. That's what holds them back. The number one reason people don't join is confidence. They would love all the benefits, they just don't believe that they would be successful in achieving them. Now, nobody here tonight had that problem, did you? You joined. You didn't have a confidence objection. But how many people have talked to somebody that had one? Yeah, quite a few. So, let's see how they feel. I would like you to feel like they feel so you understand where they're coming from. Let me give you an example of a confidence objection and how they look at it. I want you to imagine for a moment you're a prospect, okay? And I'm doing a presentation up here, and I'll make it just real easy. The presentation goes like this. You work for 10 seconds, and then you get to rest for a long, long time. How many people here think that fits your lifestyle so far? At that end, you say, hey, pretty good opportunity. Oh, compensation plan. Well, we don't have time to do a real complicated one here, so we'll just give you $1 million up front. No residual income, but up front. So how many people here like the compensation plan? All right. You love the opportunity, you love the compensation plan. And so you say, wow, that's pretty good. Now, the reason you only have to work for 10 seconds and rest for a long, long time and all this, because here's what you'd be doing. You'd be getting into the boxing ring in this opportunity and fighting Mike Tyson. Former heavyweight champion of the world, bad attitude. Okay. So that's the opportunity. Now, this would explain why you work for 10 seconds and rest for a long, long time. So understanding that's the opportunity, how many people are willing to take me up on that opportunity? We got 2 people with brain damage, 3, okay. What is the rest of us thinking? I'm not confident I'll be successful in this endeavor. Or we're thinking, I would like to be able to speak in my later life. Or what good is $1 million if I'm flat out on my back, unconscious? So we have some confidence objections, don't we? You're thinking, man, I'm allergic to pain. I like my ears the way they are. And because you have a confidence objection, you're not going to join. I can say, but we have 3-way calling. We have great upline support. After he knocks you out, we'll drag you out of the ring. Color brochure. That's your 3% on level 2. None of this is going to change, is it? You say, hey, I'm not confident I'll be successful. So that's how people feel. I'll give you another example. Because this is how your prospects feel. You didn't feel this way because you thought you could do it, but this is how your prospects feel. I have a house in Houston, Texas. Now in Houston, we cement the houses to the ground because hurricanes blow them away. And it's a pretty good sized house. So here's the opportunity I'm going to offer you. All you have to do is go over to Pearson International Airport here, buy a $600 round trip ticket, fly to Houston, Texas, grab a cab, go down to my house. And if you can pick up my house off its foundation with your bare hands, no other assistance, $100,000. So, how many people here are running off to get a ticket? It's $100,000? Don't you love your family? Can't you see the opportunity?
Mike Tyson would have been easy.
Mike Tyson would have been easier. What are you thinking? You're thinking if you spend $600 for that ticket, it's like taking six $100 bills and stuffing it down the drain, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think that possibly, just possibly, some of your prospects might be thinking the same thing? They get involved in your business like taking that money and just stuffing it down the drain because they know that there's no way they would ever be successful. How many people now believe confidence is the number one reason most people don't want to get involved? They love what you have to offer, they just don't think they can do it. So let's review. We want to come up with the first sentence that's so good that when we say it, people are going to be thinking this. Boy, it's not a pyramid. Good, legitimate business. Excellent. And boy, I'm really excited about it. And could you please, please, please tell me how to join? And I don't need any training. I can do this right away. And I feel comfortable doing this. I would enjoy doing this. And I'm confident I'd be successful. Yes. If your first sentence did all that, how many people here think we'd have a pretty good evening? Yeah, okay, so let's go to work. Grab your paper and pen. And over the next 30 seconds, write a first sentence that meets those 6 criteria. Just kidding. All right. Would you like to know the first sentence I use? Sure. Now, I've used the same first sentence for the last 11 years. And people say, the same one? I says, yep. I start my opportunity meetings with them. Somebody asks me to explain over the phone, I start with that. They say, across the kitchen table, yeah, start with the same one. They say, if I wake up in the middle of the night, yeah, I'd probably say that first. I use the exact same first sentence for over 11 years. And people say, don't you ever get tired of it? I said, yeah, I'm sick of it. But why do you think I keep using it?
It works.
Yeah, it works like printing money 8 out of 10 times. So I just use it over and over because I like, well, I'm not sick of printing money. So here it is. You might want to write it down and we'll just talk a little bit about it. You don't have to use it, but a lot of people do. It goes like this. First word is most, M-O-S-T. People. Do. Network. Marketing. Every. Day. Comma. Just a comma, don't write it out. But, just one T. Right. But, they just don't get paid for it, period. Just a dot. Everybody got it? There we are. That's the first sentence I use. Most people do network marketing every day, but they just don't get paid for it. People say, that's what you use? I said, yeah. They said, well, why do you do it? I said, because it works. Because here's what goes through the prospect's mind when you say this sentence. Now imagine for a moment I'm sitting across the kitchen table, talking to a prospect. And I say, thanks for the coffee, tea, milk, pie, ice cream, cake, cookies, fudge, popcorn, pizza, rice, etc. So I'll start off by saying, most people do network marketing every day, but they just don't get paid for it. That's my first sentence. Because it gets people to lean forward instead of lean back, because here's what goes through their mind. When I say the words most people, they say, wait a minute, let me think about that. Am I part of most people or am I part of less people? What do you think most of them say? I'm a most people type person. Yeah, okay, go on. Do network marketing every day. And they go, whoa, wait, hold it. Let me think about that. Stop. I never heard that before. Sounds kind of strange. Sounds pretty weird to me. But if most people do network marketing every day, and I'm part of most people, that would mean that I do network marketing every day. Didn't know that. But they just don't get paid for it. Whoa, wait a minute, let me think about that. Nope, No check in my mailbox. This boy's telling the truth. So now the prospect is thinking, I do network marketing every day, but I'm just not getting paid for it. What might be the first question across their mind? How do you get paid for it? So mentally, they jump up out of their chair, mentally, whoosh, run around the kitchen table, sit down right next to you, throw their arm around you and say, hey buddy, hey partner, hey pal. I do network marketing every day, but I'm just not getting paid for it. Could you please, please, please show me how to collect? Now, how many people could take it from there? Yeah. Your prospect is leaning forward, looking for reasons to join, looking for reasons to listen, instead of leaning back, looking for reasons not to join. As simple first sentence as that. How many people here think you can probably do that? Do you think you teach it to your affiliates in 3-4 days? Yeah, give it to them on a little index card or something. If you start your presentation like that, it gets a lot easier because people want to know how they can collect. Would you like to know the second sentence? All right. I'm going to give you a complete 5-minute presentation, beginning to end, of how I start every opportunity meeting, big time presentation. So I'm going to ask you to memorize this entire 5-minute presentation. Not that you want to use it all the time, but it's there when you would like to use it. In order to memorize it, you're going to have to take some notes. So number 1, write down the word recommend, R-E-C-O-M-M-E-N-D. Number 2, write down the word promote, P-R-O-M-O-T-E. Then take your pen, put the cap on it, lean back and relax. That's all the notes you're going to need to memorize this entire 5-minute presentation. I've heard it just one time. Trust me, I'm American. So y'all ready? Lean back and enjoy. So just imagine you're at an opportunity meeting. This is a pretty good sized group here. I might start off by saying thanks a lot for coming out this evening. Everybody have a seat. And then I would say, most people network marketing every day, but they just don't get paid for it. Oh, by the way, let me stop right here. Isn't it neat when you know what the first sentence is? You're never nervous? Because it's always hard to know how to start, right? People say, man, I just don't know how to start with the first sentence. I always have to start with a second one. Or they're nervous and they just say, I don't know where to... It's easier if you already know what to say, and it's going to work, isn't it? It just kind of rolls downhill from there. So I start off the video by saying most people do network marketing every day, but they just don't get paid for it. So you probably are wondering, well, what do you mean? Well, network marketing is nothing more than simply 2 things: recommending and promoting what you like. How many people here in this room have ever recommended or promoted something? What are some things you recommend and promote? Movies, restaurants, books, vacations, cars, school. Yeah, lots of things, right? When you recommend a place to go shopping, how do you feel? Great. When you recommend a place to go on holiday vacation, how do you feel? Great. We love networking. We love recommending. As a matter of fact, we've been doing it since age 5. Go to any kindergarten and listen to the kids talk. You know what they're saying to each other? When you get home, tell your mom and dad to buy you this toy. Or when you get home, watch this show on television. Or when you get home, throw this tantrum and Grandpa will give you cookies. Right. We've been recommending and promoting every day since age 5. We did it yesterday, we did it today. You know what? We're going to do it again tomorrow, aren't we? So you're probably thinking, well, what's a good example of me doing network marketing, recommending and promoting, and not getting paid for it? Well, here's an example. How many people here have ever seen the movie Titanic? All right, when you went to see the movie Titanic, did you have to pay for a ticket or did they let you in for free? Pay for, and how much you have to pay for a ticket here in Canada? Like $2-3 bucks? How much?
14.
You guys can't agree on anything, can you? You pay $10. Is that per person or per family? Okay. All right. So you give them $10. You walk inside the movie theater, and what's the first thing you see? Whole bunch of concessions at value pricing, right? You say, wow, good price on popcorn, pop, milk duds, and Snickers. Stored up, So we buy a whole bunch of concessions. We sit down and watch the movie for 3.5 long, boring hours. With no bathroom break. So we go home after the movie, and they're waiting for us there at our house is our worthless brother-in-law. And he's waiting for a free meal. So we say to our worthless brother-in-law, hey, worthless brother-in-law, I just been to this great movie called Titanic where Celine Dion sings really, really high and everybody drowns at the end. You'd love it. So, the worthless brother-in-law runs down to the movie theater. Does he have to pay for a ticket? How much? $10. Walks inside and he goes, oh man, they forgot to feed me again. So he has to buy a whole bunch of popcorn, peanuts, Cracker Jacks, milk duds at value pricing. Watches the movie. The next day, the worthless brother-in-law is at work. He's at his full-time job, which is holding down the water cooler. So while the worthless brother-in-law is holding down the water cooler, people are walking by. What's he talking about? Raking leaves in the yard last night, or? Titanic. He says, man, you got to go see Titanic. You got to take your family there, your friends there, your neighbors there. Man, it's awesome. Celine Dion sings really, really high, and everybody drowns at the end. They'd love it. So that night, the whole neighborhood runs down to the movie theater. They have to pay for a ticket. How much they pay? $10, $10, $10. Walks inside, get a whole bunch of milk duds, Cracker Jacks, and stuff for dad. Shares a little bit with the kids, and they watch the movie. At the end of the month, the movie theater owner says, hey, if it wasn't for you, all these people wouldn't have come down. From your network marketing, your recommendation and promotion. I made a fortune selling these seats for $10 each. But not only that, you know where I made my big money? Yeah, concessions. It doesn't cost like $4 for a little bit of Coke and a paper cup. Man, it's awesome. I made a fortune from this. I made all this money from your network marketing, your recommendation and promotion. So here is your share of the profits. No? Well, we did the work, right? We recommended, promoted, we did network marketing, but we just didn't get paid for it. So you're probably wondering, well, how do I get paid for it then, huh? Well, cut. Let's stop right there. How many people here are thinking your prospects are saying, well, how do I get paid for it, huh? Are they leaning forward or leaning back? Leaning forward. A lot of them are ready to join. They haven't even heard the name of your business yet. So let's go back and review. Number one, remember those 6 criteria we had? Number 1 was to get rid of the pyramid objections. Does this get rid of the pyramid objection? Yeah, I mean, I've never had somebody say, well, I do network marketing every day. It's a pyramid, it's a felony, arrest me. If they do it, it must be legal, right? Number 2, does it get people excited? People are excited when they find out they've been doing work and not getting paid for it. Yeah. Number 3, does it get people to ask, how can I join? How can I collect? Number 4, does it get rid of the training objection? Yeah, why does it get rid of the training objection?
Because they're doing it anyway.
They've been doing it since age 5. I've never had somebody say, well, I've been doing it since age 5, but I forgot how yesterday. Number 5, does it get rid of the comfortable objection? Yeah, we do it all the time. We love doing it. And number 6, does it get rid of the confidence objection? Now, why does it get rid of the confidence objection? Because they're already doing it. Well, there you have it. How many people here think you can tell that entire story? All right, after hearing it just one time. I'm going to impress you. I'll give you a test here, and I'll see how well you remember. I start off by saying, everybody have a seat. Let's get started. And then what's the first sentence I say? So you probably wonder, well, what do you mean? Well, network marketing is nothing more than simply recommending and? How many people here have ever recommended or promoted something? What are some things you recommend and promote? Acupuncture. I'll come to this side of the room. Books, tape, doctors, lawyers, CDs, brand of beer, sports teams, speakers, wines. All right. When you recommend a place to go shopping where something's on sale, how do you feel? When you recommend a place to go on holiday vacation, how do you feel? We love network marketing. As a matter of fact, we've been doing it since age You guys are good. Go to any kindergarten, listen to the kids talk. They say, when you get home, tell your mom and dad to buy you this toy. Or when you get home, watch this show on television. Or when you get home, throw this tantrum and grandpa will give you. Does everybody in Ontario have this good of memory? All right, so we went to see a movie. What movie did we go see? We have to pay for a ticket? How much? Walked inside, what's the first thing we saw? At value pricing. Yeah, we got a bunch of those. Watched the movie 3.5 hours. We went home. Who's waiting for us at our house? And what's he waiting for? Premium. So we said a worthless brother. I just saw this great movie called Titanic, where Celine Dion sings really, really high end. You'd love it, yeah. So he runs down to the movie theater. He said to pay for a ticket. How much? Walks inside, forgot to feed me again, buys some concessions. The next day, all right, I'll make it tough on you guys. Next day he's at work. What was his full-time occupation? Well, you guys are really good. Yeah, hold down the water cooler, and when people are going by, what's he talking about? Yeah, take your family, friends, neighbor, kids there that night. They all show up. They have to pay for a ticket. $10, $10, walks inside. Buys a nice concession, gets some for dad, shares a little bit with the kids. At the end of the month, the movie theater owner says, man, I made a fortune from these $10 tickets, but that's not where I made my big money. Where do you make his big money? And I made all this money from the people you sent down, your recommendation, promotion, your network marketing, so here is your share of the profits, right? Yeah, okay, well, we did the work, right? But we just didn't get paid for it. So you're probably wondering, well, how do you get paid for it? Cut. Pretty easy. How many people here are totally impressed that you're able to memorize that entire story after hearing it just one time? Would you like to know how we did it? Tell you later. Okay. Now it's your turn, because the first time you tell the story, it's the hardest. After that, it gets easy. So I'm going to ask you to grab a partner. And one partner is going to pretend to be a prospect, which means you're going to sit there quietly, stare blankly into space, just like a real-life prospect would, right? And the other one's going to say, most people, and just take it from there. Everybody ready? Let's grab your partners. Let's begin.
Someone has to water.
All right, let's see how we did here. Everybody have a chance? Wow, how many people here think this is a great way to start off a presentation? It's not the only way, it's a way, but people always say, how hard is it to talk to people? Well, just tell them a story. And this is an easy story to tell them so they will understand that they've been doing network marketing every day, but they just haven't been getting paid for it. Do you realize that most people you meet outside that door are professional network marketers? They've been doing it since age? Are they comfortable doing it?
Yes.
Do they enjoy doing it?
Yes.
Fully trained?
Yes.
And they're getting ripped off. Yeah. So you think they might appreciate that you let them know they can pick up a check or continue doing it for free, right? And if they choose to continue doing it for free, no problem, makes the world a better place, just like the exhaling bonus, right? Our job is just let them know they can pick up a check. You're not responsible for the decisions they make. How many people here think you probably tell the story to somebody? Yeah. Once you do the hardest one, it's over. So people say, well, I think I understand first sentences. I can have a great first sentence when I retail a product, or talk to somebody maybe to get an appointment, or maybe to break the ice. So how do I know about these first sentences? How do I get people involved? Let me give you a way of creating your own first sentences anytime you need them. Now, a first sentence is sort of like a headline in a newspaper, or like an icebreaker. I'm going to use headlines because it's easier to say, because it's a little exercise. But how many people here have ever read a newspaper? All right. Do you read it from beginning to end?
No.
All right. Well, how do you choose which articles to read? So if the headline is really, really good, you may or may not read it. If it's not very good, you definitely won't read it. Sort of like the first sentence out of your mouth, right? If it's really, really good, they may or may not listen to you, but if it's not very good, yeah, you're over. It's toast. You're done. So, what we need to do is create headlines, first sentences that are so good that people at least give it a try and listen to us. So who writes the best headlines in the world, besides Big Al?
People that write at the National Enquirer.
Yeah, the National Enquirer. The National Enquirer writes the world's greatest headlines. Now let's think about this. I mean, what else do they have to sell? Nothing. I mean, do they have great sports pages? Business pages, investigative journalism? No, just headlines. Now, if you don't know what a National Enquirer type headline is, it's something like this. Elvis's two-headed baby marries space alien. That's a National Enquirer type headline. How many people here have seen a National Enquirer type newspaper by the checkout counter? Why in the world do they put them by the checkout counter? It's a cash cow money machine. People read those headlines and buy the newspapers. You say, why? Hey, I don't even know why they buy lottery tickets. It's just a tax on people bad at math, but people do this, all right? It sells. I'm not here to argue, I'm only here to collect. So, if National Enquirer writes the best headlines in the world, so if you can come up with first sentences as good as National Enquirer, how many people here think you might clean up? So all we have to do is learn how to do that. There's two ways to learn how to write headlines or first sentences as good as National Enquirer. Way number one. Enroll at the University of Toronto Journalism School for 5 years. Way number 2 would be to learn the Big Al cheap, sleazy, trashy 5-step method for national inquirer type headlines. Takes about, 20 minutes. Which would you prefer?
Big Al.
All right, we'll go door number 2, all right? We're going to learn the Big Al cheap, sleazy, trashy 5-step formula for national inquirer type headlines. And when we can do this, we're going to be able to be so interesting, people won't even be able to resist us. It is so interesting that even accountants will appear to have personalities. All right, so we all ready? Let me give you an example of this type of headline. Since you're all into weight loss, you probably, here's a weight loss headline from one of my Fortune newsletters. And it's probably taken from a National Enquirer type newspaper. It goes like this. Atlanta housewife investigated and almost arrested for losing 78 pounds. Now, if you wanted to lose weight, would you continue on and read that article? Yeah, well, it goes on to say how a state patrolman stopped her and looked at her license and said, you're too thin, blah, 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 buy some diet pills, But it grabs people's attention, and people say, now, where in the world would I use something like that? So you're at the doctor's office. You're there in the waiting room 3-4 days like everybody else. And somebody turns to you and says, hey, what's new with you? And you say, well, let me tell you how this Atlanta housewife was investigated and almost arrested for losing 78 pounds. And all of a sudden, swoosh, 3 other heads are in your conversation. Let me give you another one from Fortune newsletter here. Overweight granny loses 57 pounds, steals her granddaughter's tight-fitting jeans, and enters limbo contest. And you say, what kind of headline is that? So I want you to imagine, for a moment, that you're at a party. And everybody's there holding a little can here. What do you drink? Water? All right, so everybody's holding a little glass of water, and somebody says, what's new with you? And you say, well, let me tell you how this overweight granny lost 57 pounds, stole her granddaughter's tight-fitting jeans, and entered a limbo contest. And all of a sudden, what? Swoosh! 3 other heads are in your conversation. If you have a great first sentence, great headline, people are attracted to what you have to offer. So would you like to learn how to do this? Let's go to work. Now, it's easier to do than to explain, so we're just going to do it. Number 1, write down the word benefit. How many people here have a benefit with your network marketing business? All of you, yeah, all of you do, yeah. What's one of the benefits? Freedom, extra income, free product, trips,
How's the rent?
the rent,
Meet people.
meet people, get your job. These are all benefits, right? So let's start with quit your job as a benefit, right? So this young lady said, quit your job. So the first thing is a benefit. So the new headline here is how to quit your job. That's a pretty good benefit, isn't it? Is it good enough for us? No, we have 4 more steps to go. So number 2, write down the word occupation. OCC. You. Cantonese, yeah. All right, so I'm going to ask this young lady, what was your occupation before network marketing? Client service. Client service. What's that in English?
CSR.
Salesperson? Customer service? All right. Just so I know, I'm from Texas. So we're going to say how a customer service rep shows people how to quit their job. Now, does that give it more credibility? I mean, it could have been anybody, but we actually said their profession, right? Gives it a little more interest. Number 3, geography. Geography. Okay. Can I ask you, do you know what city you live in? Toronto, okay. Now, it could have been any customer service representative, right? Or we're even going to name the city. Credibility. So, how a Toronto customer service rep shows people how to quit their job. More interesting? Yeah. Number 4. Write down the word odd numbers. ODD numbers. What has more credibility? When you say, oh, about 1,000, or if you say 971? So we're going to add some odd numbers here. We could do it several ways. We could say how a 21-year-old customer service rep from Toronto shows people how to quit their job. Or we could say how a customer service rep from 5th Street in Toronto shows people how to quit their job. Or we're going to choose this one just for an example. How a customer service rep from Toronto shows people how to quit their job in just 93 days. She's voting for the 21. Right? So we add some odd numbers. More credibility. And number 5. Write down the word personality. People love personality. That's why they watch the Oscars and what they call, whatever show, Hollywood, or Entertainment Hollywood, and General Wars, soap operas. People just like personality. Certain words that you use create personality images in people's minds. Words like happy, sad, ambitious, overworked, often sober, semi-honest, exciting, charismatic, adventurous, all these, boring, all these words create personality images in people's minds. So, what kind of personality should we give this young lady? Enterprising, generous, vivacious, dynamic,
Honest.
All right, we stuck in there. All right. Underworked. Okay. Overworked, sorry. How an overworked customer service rep from Toronto shows people how to quit their job in just 93 days. And what we've done is created one of these National Enquirer type headlines that draws people's attention. Let's do another one. Who else has a benefit here? Oh, wait, since she volunteered so graciously, should we give her something for volunteering? Yeah, let's give her another hand, sure. All right. Since you volunteered, we're going to give you, remember that manual, that 537-page manual, 103 ways and places to sponsor a distributor, so you can read that on the way home while you're driving. And, no, just kidding. But hopefully you can finish it by tomorrow. Let's give her a big hand for volunteering. Excellent. All right, so who else like to volunteer? To benefit? What else do we have here for benefits? She used them all up?
Income.
Income, making some more money, right? All right, so making some more money. How to earn more money? Well, that's a pretty good benefit, isn't it? Is it good enough for us? Graduates of Big Al Workshop? No, wait, we have 4 more steps to go. What are we going to ask him next? What was your occupation before network marketing?
Sales.
All right, what kind of salesman?
Computers.
How a computer salesman shows people how to earn extra money. And you're thinking, wait a minute, what does a computer salesman know about this? What is interesting is if the profession doesn't match, it's okay. It makes it interesting. If it does match, it gives it credibility. It works both ways. What are we going to ask him next?
Dog. Markham.
Markham. All right, Markham. So how a Markham computer salesman shows people how to earn extra money. Odd numbers? What kind of odd numbers can we do here? All right. How a Markham computer salesman shows people how to earn an extra $331 a week. Do computer salesmen have personalities? All right. So what kind of personality should we give him?
Enterprising.
Weird. We got enterprising.
Boring.
Shy.
Boring.
Geek.
Geek.
All right, so you picked geek. So a geeky computer salesman from Markham shows people how to earn an extra $331 a week. Let's give him a hand. Excellent. All right, we're going to give you something here. Story shall be prospects believe to listen to on the way home for volunteering.
All right.
There's exercise. Well, how many people here think this is pretty easy? All you do is just ask those 5 questions and you put it together. Well, this is a workshop, not a lecture, so guess whose turn it is right now? We're going to ask you to form a couple groups here. And your groups are going to be anywhere from 6 to 10 people. So if you want to form a group, the easiest thing to do is just simply turn your chairs around and look at the, oh wait, no, if we all turn our chairs around, we'd be facing the other way. So maybe at the first row, turn around, look at the second row. Third row, look at the 4th row. 5th row, look at the next row. Try to form a group of 6 to 10 people real quick here. And then I'll give you some instructions. Let's form a quick group.
We could, all of you guys.
We all take our standing.
I don't know if I'd be happy to take that.
Okay, we all have a group? Here's what we're going to ask you to do. As a group, bunch them together real close. One person in each group, raise your hand. All right, you're going to be the leader. Here's what you're going to do as the leader. You are going to say the following words. My benefit is. And then everybody in the group is going to gang up and you and say, let's add some odd numbers, some personality. And in 60 seconds time, you're going to come up with a pretty good first sentence headline icebreaker for this person, right? Then the next person on the right is going to say, my benefit is. Everybody's going to gang up on him, says, let's add some odd numbers, where do you live, blah, blah, blah. And in 60 seconds time, have a great one for them. And then the next person on the right. Now, if you're really good, you'll be able to go all the way around your group. If you're really, really good, you might go around your group twice. And everybody gets 2 great first sentences. If you're really bad, you'll still be stuck on the first person. All right. So we all clear what we have to do?
Yes.
No. As you turn your chairs around, right. So the first person to raise their hand is going to say what? My benefit is, and they're all going to gang up, and in 60 seconds time, then it's the next person's turn. Are we all clear on that? So we're going to take about 6 to 8 minutes to do this as fast as we can and see how many great first sentences we can come up with. Everybody ready? Grab your group leader and have the group leader say, my benefit is. Let's begin.
My benefit is travel the world. My benefit is. Customer service. Travel the world. Downtown Toronto.
Number?
23 years. Sorry. 15 minutes.
15 minutes?
At a time. 15 minutes. I show people how they can travel around the world 15 minutes at a time. 15 minutes. 15-minute presentation.
Say go right.
Go ahead.
It's right. Different.
Okay. Wait. So you want to benefit? Earn money. Occupation. Self-employed. Geography is Orangeville. Odd numbers is going to be, what do you want to make this pretty good? How about 500? Yeah, your personality is easy going.
Oh, okay, if you turn your chairs around, let's see how we did.
Enjoy working.
like some groups are having way too much fun.
Geography, India.
India. What type of cooking?
Okay, how'd we do? Was that fun? The more you do it, does it seem like it gets easier? Yeah. So on the way home for a little homework, if you see a billboard, just ask yourself who wrote that stupid headline. And see if you can use a Big Al cheap, sleazy, Tracy 5-step formula to do better. Who would, just real quickly here, who'd like to shout out a couple of headlines you came up with in your group that were pretty interesting? So we'll start right here. Just go ahead and shout out a couple here. Oh wait, you gotta turn around. They'd like to know. So yell nice and loud for them. Go ahead.
Hard-working massage therapist from Mississauga finds better health 365 days a year.
Yeah! Let's give her a hand. Excellent. Well, real quick here. Yes.
Find out how a busy stay-at-home working can make $104.17 a month extra by giving away free products.
All right, let's give her a hand. Excellent. Who else would like to volunteer? Yes, way back there. Go ahead, sir.
Make more money and have fun.
All right, let's give him a hand. Excellent. Who's next? Who's next here? Yes, go ahead.
A frustrated teacher from Toronto starts extra business and retires at 31.
All right, let's give him a hand. Excellent. Yes, go ahead.
Professional actor from Burlington shows people how to become their own boss in 17 minutes.
All right, let's give her a hand. Excellent. Yes, go ahead.
Teach families how to make more money for education of the children.
All right, let's give him a hand. Excellent. Yes, go ahead.
Vivacious public relations professional from Ottawa takes care of her parents' retirement in 69 days.
All right, let's give her a hand. Excellent. Yes.
Hopes for financial freedom.
All right, let's give him a hand. It's aerobic exercise back there. Hey, let's take a look here. This wasn't too hard to do, was it? It's pretty easy to be interesting. It's pretty easy to talk to people if you know what to say and what to do. And people say, well, what would I do with all these crazy headline stuff? I said, well, you can put on your business card, couldn't you? Put on your answer machine. First sentence in your email. Maybe the subject line of your email. Headline for an ad. First sentence in a letter. Or just first words out of your mouth when you talk to somebody. There's lots of places for this. And this is the secret why some people just really get ahead of network marketing and others just lag behind with people folding their arms and leaning back. If you have great first sentences, you can do the job. So, who came the closest tonight? Closest. Where do you come from, sir?
Oh, I'm all the way from Oakville, Ontario.
Yes?
Rogers and Western Road.
Rogers and Western Road. You live in that? 427. A Rapper. Airport End. Bavair.
Dixon Road and 27, right down the street.
Dixon Road and 27.
401.
All right, who came the closest here?
My wife downstairs.
All right, over here. All right, let's give him a big hand for coming all that way. And over here, all right, since he came from the office there, so we have two people who came the closest. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to give them something for sacrificing your time to come the closest. All right. I'll tell you what happened to me. I'm always trying to learn things. By the way, if you like to learn how to talk to people over the phone, there's an interview I did with a guy named Tom Predis. We transcribed it. We put it up on the internet free. If you'd like to get it, just go to sponsoringtips.com. You can download the complete transcript free. Just read it at your leisure. Sponsoringtips.com. If you'd like to know more about headlines and get about 850 more, if you dig around, go to fortunenow.com, FORTUNENOW, fortunenow.com. and find more about tips. But I'm at a workshop just like here, trying to find out what to say and what to do. About 2 years ago, and this guy pulls out this CD, puts it in his computer, and he says, who in this room believes that your headline, your first sentence, your icebreaker is the most important thing in the world? Well, my hand goes up. I'm in the back row, got there early. So he sticks this CD in his computer, shines up it on the wall with one of those projector things, and all it does is ask 4 questions. Question number 1 was, what is your biggest benefit? And I said, get rich. So he types in the words, get rich. Number 2, how long will it take? And I said, 90 days. So he types in the word 90 days. Asks 2 more questions. He presses a button, and instantly 100 killer, awesome first sentence headline icebreakers pop up on the screen for that combination of words. You know what I'm thinking? 31 years of my life wasted. I mean, I could use this for every ingredient, every benefit, every percentage, for every type of person I want to approach. I said, man, this is going to be awesome. So I blew the whole, I think it was $29.95 American, which is what, 600 Canadian? I don't know what the conversion is, but so I bought it, I took it home, loaned it to my sister. She has kids like ages 9, 10, and 13 at the time, something like that. They take it off her desk, stick it in their computer. They thought it was some sort of video game. But they started putting in things about their teachers, their friends at school, classes. They came up with all these crazy headlines. They just had a ball with it. Anyway, now if you go to her house, you got to hear these kids talk. If you go to their supper table, while they're having dinner, they'll be saying things like, you too can become a hero by passing me the pepper immediately. And, absolutely crazy and wild. So anyway, it's, I got one for each of you since they both came the closest here to put in your computers and come up with all the first sentence you want. So let's give them a big hand from sacrificing their time coming so early. Well, how many people here think that you can probably go out and do a better job talking to people? Lots of easy stories to tell them, etc. So if you want to turn off the camera for just a second, I'll just make a quick announcement for the people here. How many people here would like to know the secret of why you were able to memorize all those stories? All right? I'll tell you the secret. People think in pictures.
So,
The meeting is Saturday.
okay, number 1, I hope you took a lot of notes. Okay, so you can review exactly what we went through here. 2, practice it. 3, well, if you can pick up what he has, pick up some of them and you can study it on your own. Next Saturday, we are having another meeting here, so make sure you're here.
This Saturday.
Well, next Saturday meaning the 23rd of April.
This coming Saturday.
Saturday coming, 23rd of April, 11 a.m., right here, 600 Dixon Road. Make sure you're here. Super Dave will be here doing a presentation, and we have, I mean, you have a mind-boggling opportunity in front of you. You guys all know that. Make it happen. Okay? Thanks for coming.
Yeah, listen, sorry. Hello. Tom, 1 second. Sorry, this coming Saturday, make sure you bring out as many guests as possible. Because after the meeting, there's also going to be a training. We're going to build on what Al has done, but I'm actually going to show you guys some specific ways of actually building your business. And just what you're going to learn here is what I taught in Cancun last week to a bunch of leaders that came with us. And there are people who've gone from, maybe the camera will go off after, but have gone from 3 digits a week to 4 digits a week from what you're going to learn this coming Saturday. So make sure you bring out whatever guest it is you have to bring out, because after this, then I'm going to be doing a cross-Canada tour again. So I might not be here for another month or a bit. So like I said, this Saturday, make the best use of it. And again, guests are free. So, ciao.